first off, you might notice something a little bit different. And that is that they have this button right here, and this enables you to see your account settings. So that's a helpful piece of information to have right there. That means, since that's there, that they have moved. Presented by Church Tech U, it's the ProPresenter Show. On today's show, what's new in ProPresenter version 19? Hi, and welcome again to the ProPresenter Show. This is the show where I teach all about ProPresenter. My name's Paul Allen Clifford. And before we get started, if you're excited about new features and a bunch of stability increases, go ahead, tell me about it in the comments below. Like and subscribe, click on the bell icon, you know all that stuff. So, as always, Renewed Vision has done it again with a new version of ProPresenter, and I'm on the beta. I'm a beta tester, so I get this well in advance. Before they even announce the stuff, I start playing around with it. Well, this has been out for a while, and this is actually the second time that I've recorded this tutorial. I had a little bit of an audio issue the first time, so I'm really excited that I could bring this to you right now and show you just all that they've done. So let's head over to my computer and we'll take a look. First off, you might notice something a little bit different. And that is that they have this button right here. And this enables you to see your account settings. So that's a helpful piece of information to have right there. That means, since that's there, that they have moved the recording and live streaming capability to over here, and also looks is over here. So if you're watching an older tutorial and you're like, wait, why is the looks and the live over here? Why is that? Because they moved it in 19. So that's the first thing. The second thing you need to know, and this applies just to Mac users, is Mac OS 13 Ventura is now required. So if you have an older version of Mac OS and you try and use 19, it just won't work. So you do need Mac OS 13 Ventura. There was someone that reached out to me and said, yeah, I've got a chance to buy a used Mac, and it's already upgraded as much as it can be upgraded, and it was like 12 point something. And so I discouraged him from buying it because I had a feeling that coming up that was going to be an issue, and as it turns out it is. Just as an aside, as you're looking at computers, a 10-year-old computer is not a good deal, no matter how much they're selling it for. Now, if they give it to you and it works for you for a few months, that's fine, but buying it, you've wasted some money. So just consider that. So going back over here, the next thing is a feature that some people will be clamoring for. So let me go ahead and here in Sermon Media, notice that we've got a little new icon if there's a thumbnail issue. By the way, if you mess with this, sometimes they'll come back, but I'm going to ignore that for right now, and I'm going to bring in a video from my downloads folder. So this is actually the video from my live class that I do every Tuesday night for my Church Tech U members. If you're interested, churchtechu.com will take you there. So I've got that brought in here. I'm also going to bring in another video right here. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and let's bring in, this is one that my editor made for me that I'm not actually using. Thank you, Thea. Great job. It's just I wanted to do this, showing it, and that's in there. Chances are, by the way, if you have this thumbnail issue, first off reach out to Renewed Vision because they probably want to know about it. But a lot of times restarting ProPresenter will fix that, or messing with the zooming here sometimes will as well. Just some different things for you to consider. But anyway, I've brought those in. Now, if I go up here to ProPresenter, Settings, and Media. Do you like these videos, but you'd really like to learn from me in person? Well, I've got some great news for you. I am traveling around the country and maybe even around the world training churches on how to use ProPresenter. So I've got a either a 1 or a 1.5 day class that you can attend. For more details, head on over to TDM.fyi/events24, the top one right here, and register for the event nearest you. If there is no event that's near you, no problem. You can request one. So head on over to tdm.fyi/class request. That's this one down here. And you can say, hey, I'm interested in attending a class, or even I'm interested in hosting a class. Up to you which you prefer. In the last one, that is just information. It's not obligation, so don't hesitate to put your information in there, and I'll let you know when there's a class in your area, or we'll talk about what it takes to host a class. It's probably a lot less than you imagine that it is. So head over there, and I look forward to meeting you in person. Notice I've got a new button, Clean Up Media. So what happens when I click on that? Well, I expect nothing to happen, quite frankly. So we'll let this churn for just a second. And, oh, it did find some stuff, so I'm going to click Delink Unlinked Media, or Delete Unlinked Media. And it does bring that up here in my, hide myself real quick, in my trash can. And it's just this this one thing right here. Yeah, that's an image that I brought in. That's the youth and children's pastor at my church. So that was something that used to be in there, and it delinked it. But let me do this. I'm going to get rid of this. Get rid of this one, so right click and delete, and then I'm also going to get rid of this one, right click and delete, and I'm going to select delete cues, not move to trash. So I delete cues. Okay, now let's do that exact same procedure again. Go to settings, media, and once again clean up media, and I expect that it's going to find both of those. Delete unlinked media, yes. I'm going to ignore that, that's a third-party thing. Bring this up once again here, and now we see all three of those, the one that I'd forgotten that I deleted earlier, and these two, which you saw me add, and you saw that when it went through the first time, it didn't clear that out. So what's going on here? First off, it will put it in the recycle bin if you're on Windows, or the trash can if you're on the Mac. So first thing I'm going to do after I do that is I'm going to just double check that it didn't delete something that I didn't want deleted. If it did, then I'm going to restore it. That solves that problem. Secondly, this will not work if you have changed this setting. You go into ProPresenter settings, and then down to import. I think it's import. No, it is media, I bet. Yes, manage media automatically. Notice I have mine turned on. What happens is when you import something into ProPresenter, it will make a copy from wherever you imported it from, and then put it in a folder within the ProPresenter folder. I think it's the assets folder. So if I had that turned off, then then the cleanup media wouldn't work. So that's another thing that you need to know. Notice that I showed you where I got those media files from, and that was my download folder, and they are still here in the download folder because it doesn't mess with the originals if you have managed media automatically set. So I still have the originals. Now if I had deleted them from my downloads folder and then deleted them using this new feature only to decide, oops, that was a mistake, then I'd be out of luck. So do keep that in mind, that you do, before you empty your trash or empty your recycle bin, you need to make sure that you don't need those sometime in the future. Now chances are the video that says Christmas 2019 in big words at the beginning and throughout the video, you probably don't need that anymore. Maybe you want to archive it just for fun or just to give yourself ideas sometime in the future, but you don't need it. So something like that would be very helpful. A lot of times the pastor will show a video one time and never show it again. That's another thing that you can do. So this is a helpful feature. It's not as flexible as the Pro 7 Media Sweeper that you may have heard of, which is a open source piece of software by a member of the ProPresenter community who was in fact consulted on this. So not as flexible, but very simple, very obvious, as long as you keep those things in mind. If you like this content, you'd probably like my ProPresenter Quick Start course. So head on over to TDM.fyi/ProQuick. Give me your name and email address, and I'll make a login for you for free for that class. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford from TrinityDigitalMedia.com and ChurchTechU.com, reminding you to go out and change eternity.